Okay, I'm going to show you how to set yourselves up in MyLanguageLabs. You might want to go to Moodle first. I'm only going to make this video for, I'm going to make a video for all of you to share, but I teach a lot of sections, so I'm not going to go into each section. I'm in one of my 111s right now, but everybody should look something like this, where you have my information, and then if you scroll through and block 0 to the bottom, you're going to find my course code. And in fact, let me change this to student, just so you don't see all that grayed out stuff. So if you go down here, here's my course code. Additionally, I have a video. This is where I'm going to have the link to the video. I have one up there now, but I'm going to replace it with this one. So if you click on this, it'll take you to a YouTube video that'll explain how to set yourself up in MyLanguageLabs, which kind of seems pointless. I'm telling you that now because you are listening to me. You have to be in the video to be able to access that. But anyway, all right, so moving right along, you're going to need your course code. There's two things that you are going to need to set your, well, potentially three. Okay, so here is, when we go into MyLanguageLabs, it tells you, you're going to see in just a minute, that you're going to need your email, you're going to need your course ID. Your course ID is what I just showed you that you're going to find in Block 0 Moodle. And you're going to need an access code or credit card. This is what an access code looks like. So you're going to have two numbers. One of those numbers I give you, the course code, which is right here. But to even get to the step where you can use the course code, you've got to have an access code, which is what you purchase. You can either buy it online with a credit card, or you can buy it in the bookstore, and it either comes with the book or you can buy it separate. But it should look something like this, and you'll find it in some type of cardboard enclosure. That's what you would be buying, access to MyLanguageLabs. Okay? All right. So once you have established where you can find your course code, you're going to want to go to MyLanguageLabs. And I think I have links all throughout our Moodle site. You can scroll through and find, here, for example, it says Cultural Assignment 1, you'll need to visit MyLanguageLabs. That's a link that would take you to MyLanguageLabs, okay? So we'll just click on one of those links, or you could type in www.mylanguagelabs.com. Okay, and it doesn't want to, oh, that one's not spelled right. Sorry about that. That link is broken. Okay, so when you go to mylanguagelabs.com, after you've set yourself up, you're always going to go in and click sign in and get started. But this is the first go around, so you're going to need to register. Something else that you need to take into account is a lot of you guys will be using multiple of these Pearson sites. Some of you will have my math lab, my chem lab, my IT lab. And so I've had students who get confused, and they will have set themselves up and they'll go ahead and sign in, and they're like, everything is working, and they've got no way to put in their code. Well, for each of these, you're going to be able to link your sites and use one login and one password, but in the beginning, you're going to need to register for each class individually. So even if you've already done this for my chem lab, when you go back out here again, you're still going to need to register for my Spanish lab or my language labs. And then if you have to do it for my math lab, you're going to go out here and do register for my math lab. And once you've registered for all of your classes, then you can go into sign in, and it will, if you use the same username and password, it's going to link it to where when you go in, you're going to see your various books for your classes, and you just go into whichever class you want to go in to work on at that particular moment. But just remember that when you're getting started, even if you've registered yourself for a different class, you have to do it all over again for our class. So you're going to click student. Here's that picture that I showed you before, that you need your email, your course ID, and your access code or credit card. Okay, so we're going to click register now. Okay, now, so then it asks you if you have an access code. If you are someone who has already bought an access code, one of those little cardboard box thingies that either you've bought the book and it came inside your book, or you bought it separate, then you're going to click yes, I have an access code. So let's start with these guys first. You already have one of these. Okay, you would just hit accept. And then it asks you if you have a Pearson education account. If you do, you click yes. That means have you already set yourself up in my math lab, my IT lab, etc., and you want to link your classes and use the same login and password for all of those. Pearson accounts, then you would click yes, you type in the login and password that you're using for MyIT Lab, etc. And then you would put the access code, which is, remember this number right here, you would plug in your access code right here. Okay? Now, if you do not have an access code and you need to buy one, you click no, I need to buy one, and you would need to have your credit card ready, okay? Then for those of you who are buying one with your credit card, you see that there's various My Language Labs that you can choose from, my Chinese lab, my French lab, etc. You want my Spanish lab, not my Spanish kit, but my Spanish lab. Hit next. You want to find our book. Our book is arriba. It has butterflies on it, 2 butterflies to be specific, right here, and click next. And then you can decide whether you want a multi-semester subscription or a one-semester subscription. If you are planning on taking multiple levels of Spanish and you're taking them back to back, you would click multi-semester, and it is $137.25, which, by the way, is cheaper than buying the whole book. And because with My Language Labs you're going to have access to an ebook, if you're comfortable with using that, then I am okay with you just purchasing My Language Labs and not buying the hard book. If you are not, however, then you will want to ride the hard book, and I am not sure how much it is, but I think it's in excess of $200. But the benefit is that we do use the same book for multiple semesters, so if you buy it and you're spending that exorbitant amount of money, you don't have to feel like, oh, it's only for one semester. If you're someone who's going to take Spanish all 4 semesters that we offer here, then it's not such a great expense because you're using that same book for all semesters. Okay, so if you say you need to buy it, I click my Spanish lab again. I think I went back too far. If you want to do a 1 semester subscription, then it's only $84.25. Just remember that would not be the cheapest if you do think you're going to do more than just 111 or just 112. Okay, again, let's say you don't have a Pearson account, you'd create a login. Oops. I'm just making one up. Oops, already used. Oh, whoops. That still doesn't work. Oh, okay. Sorry about that. Okay, so I've created a login, I've created a password, and then I hit next. I type in first name, setting this up for one of my children. Oops. And pick United States. Our zip code is 27282. Our school is GTCC. Okay, yes or no, depending on how you feel about that. Then click next. Okay, and then now you would either choose pay with PayPal or you'd pay with a credit card, and you'd enter your credit card information, your billing information, and you would hit continue. Okay, and once all of that is done, then let's see, I want to cancel because I do not want to register. So if I go back to My Language Labs, this time I can sign in, and I would put in okay. Now what you need to do, you can see all of this because I'm an instructor, so I have multiple classes, and these are all the ones that I've created. You would see it would be blank for you guys, okay? There would be none of these little books here, but you want to get a little book there. So what you need to do next is hit enroll in a course, and that's when you put in the course ID, which is this number right here. So you would want to take this and stick it here, and then you would hit submit, and you would see my information, and you would go ahead and hit OK, and you would be logged into the class. And once you've done that, every time you come out here, you'll see a little book. Probably you'll see something that looks like this, and you will just click it, and it will take you straight into the class, which will look like this. I apologize, I can't show you an exact replica. You've seen I've done a couple more steps. That's because as an instructor I have sections. You won't. You will go out there and your site will look something like this. Okay. Okay, I think this was I'm in an old class. Okay, so hopefully that answers questions for you. And in fact, let me go back to instructor review and I'll show you one other thing. This is my class this semester. So when I go in, your class, it should look something like this. Depending on when I teach your class will depend on when your work is due, but you should see these little alarm clocks. Those little alarm clocks will tell you that's where all your work is. Most of the work that you're going to complete for me are on these little alarm clocks. And I have them set up for pretty much the entire semester. Things may change depending on if we have snow days or other unforeseen things come up, but for the most part everything's out there and you can work at your own pace. My advice, however, is still to come to Moodle before you go out there, because I tend to assign work. I tend to put extra work in MyLanguageLabs that's not assigned. It's extra practice if you want it, and if you don't want it, then you don't have to partake of it. So if you come to Moodle, Moodle will tell you what's due. So for example, most of the time I assign SAMs. So if there's any extra practice or tutorials, you don't have to do them. They're just there in case you want them. So check Moodle before you go to MyLanguageLabs so you're not doing extra work that you don't have